In the fast-paced world of cryptocurrency, fortunes can be made and lost in an instant. Sometimes those losses aren't due to market swings but to cunning criminals. We are looking at a story of immense digital theft. A staggering $230 million worth of Bitcoin was stolen from a single investor. This wasn't just any crypto theft. It stands as one of the largest cryptocurrency heists targeting an individual in American history. The sheer audacity and scale of this crime sent shockwaves through the crypto community and beyond, raising serious questions about security in the digital age. It's a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist, even for savvy investors. At the center of this elaborate scheme is a young man named Malone Lame. He was just 20 years old, a Singaporean national with a knack for the digital world. Lame, however, allegedly didn't act alone. He was reportedly part of a larger group. Together they orchestrated a sophisticated operation. Their target was a high-net-worth individual based in Washington. The criminals meticulously planned their attack. They aimed to exploit trust and technology to achieve their multi-million-dollar goal. The story of this heist reveals a dark side of the crypto world, where anonymity can shield criminals. The theft itself was a masterpiece of deception, involving impersonation and technical manipulation. The victim, whose identity remains protected, was tricked into a series of actions. These actions ultimately gave the thieves access to an incredible fortune. The more than 4,100 Bitcoin vanished from the victim's account on August 18, 2024. This event triggered a massive investigation. Law enforcement agencies across jurisdictions scrambled to understand how such a breach could occur. They worked to trace the stolen funds and bring the perpetrators to justice. The case highlights the ongoing cat-and-mouse game between cybercriminals and investigators. This essay will delve into the real story behind Malone Lame's $230 million crypto heist. We will explore the intricate methods used by Lame and his associates. We will look at who was involved in this complex web of digital deceit. We will also examine how these young individuals lived lavishly on their ill-gotten gains. Finally, we will cover their eventual capture and the ongoing court proceedings. This is a story of ambition, technology, and the pursuit of justice in the digital frontier. It serves as a crucial lesson for everyone involved in the cryptocurrency space. Malone Lame, at the young age of 20, has become a name synonymous with one of the most audacious crypto heists. Originally from Singapore, Lame was identified by authorities as a key player in the sophisticated theft. He wasn't a lone wolf operating in the shadows. Instead, he was allegedly part of a network of young, tech-savvy individuals. These individuals used their skills for criminal enterprises. Lame's youth belies the complexity and cunning attributed to his operations. He navigated the digital world with an ease that ultimately led him down a path of high-stakes crime, a path that now sees him facing serious legal consequences. Among Lame's notable alleged accomplices were Connor Flansburgh, age 21, and Jean-Deal Serrano, also 21. Serrano, in particular, played a direct and crucial role in the specific theft of the 4,100 Bitcoin. These young men, barely out of their teens, were not your typical street criminals. They operated in the digital realm. They leveraged their understanding of technology and social engineering. Their youth is a striking aspect of this case. It highlights a new generation of criminals who are comfortable exploiting the complexities of the internet and cryptocurrency for their own illicit enrichment, often with a brazen disregard for the law. The plot, however, extended beyond just Lame, Flansburgh, and Serrano. Court documents reveal that a total of 13 individuals, including Lame, were eventually charged under a RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, conspiracy. This indicates a far more organized and extensive criminal operation. The group's activities were not limited to a single heist. They allegedly engaged in a pattern of racketeering. This included various forms of cybercrime targeting multiple victims. The use of RICO charges suggests authorities believe this was a structured criminal enterprise with a common purpose and ongoing activities. This crew of alleged cybercriminals didn't meet in clandestine back alleys. Instead, their connections were forged in the very spaces where many young people socialize today, online gaming portals. They used platforms like Discord and Telegram to communicate, strategize, and coordinate their illicit activities. Within these digital hangouts, they adopted online monikers such as Anne Hathaway, SSS, King Greaves, Versace God, and at Skidstar. These aliases provided a veil of anonymity, making it harder for law enforcement to initially identify them. One co-conspirator was known only as Swag in their Discord chats for a period. The theft of over 4,100 Bitcoin, valued at a jaw-dropping $230 million at the time, occurred on a specific date, August 18, 2024. It was a meticulously planned operation. John D.L. Serrano and Malone Lame allegedly spearheaded this particular part of the broader conspiracy. Their method was not a brute force hack in the traditional sense. Instead, it relied heavily on social engineering. They manipulated their victim through a series of carefully crafted deceptions. This approach highlights how human trust can often be the weakest link in any security chain, even for those who are otherwise cautious. The deception began with Serrano and Lame allegedly posing as technical support staff. They impersonated employees from two well-known companies, Google and the Gemini crypto exchange. To make their impersonation more believable, they created a fake, unauthorized Google account access notification. They cleverly used VPN services. This made it appear as if the suspicious access attempts on the victim's account were originating from overseas. This initial step was designed to create a sense of urgency and panic in the victim. It made the victim more receptive to their subsequent communications, believing their accounts were genuinely at risk. Following the fake notification, they called the victim. They pretended to be from Google security seeking to verify information. During this call or through related deceptive means, they managed to gain access to the victim's Google Drive. This was a critical breach. Inside the Google Drive, they found a treasure trove of personal financial information. This included crucial details about where the victim stored his substantial cryptocurrency holdings with the Gemini exchange. This discovery armed them with the specific information they needed for the next stage of their sophisticated con. Armed with this knowledge, Serrano allegedly called the victim again. This time, he impersonated a Gemini support representative. He skillfully manipulated the victim. He persuaded the victim to provide the private keys to his cryptocurrency holdings. In another instance, they convinced the victim to transfer approximately $3 million in crypto to a wallet under their control. As a final, devastating step, Serrano convinced the victim to download a remote access program. This gave the criminals real-time access to the victim's desktop. Through this remote access, they siphoned off the more than 4,100 Bitcoin, completing their massive heist. The theft of $230 million in Bitcoin was a significant event, but it was allegedly just one part of a larger criminal enterprise. Malone Lame and his 12 associates weren't just one-hit wonders. They were implicated in a broader RICO conspiracy. This conspiracy spanned from October 2023 to March 2025. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act is a powerful U.S. federal law. It targets organized criminal activity. The application of RICO charges signifies that prosecutors believe this group operated as a continuing criminal organization, not just a loose band of opportunistic thieves. The group's activities under this RICO conspiracy were varied and sophisticated. They primarily engaged in social engineering schemes. They specifically targeted individuals known to hold substantial amounts of cryptocurrency. Their methods involved more than just tricking people over the phone. They were accused of stealing entire crypto wallets. Once they had the digital assets, they quickly worked to convert them into US dollars or other currencies. A significant part of their operation involved laundering these proceeds. This was done to obscure the illicit origins of the money and make it appear legitimate. Interestingly, the group's alleged crimes weren't confined solely to the digital realm. The RICO indictment also mentions their involvement in physical burglaries. These burglaries were reportedly carried out to steal cryptocurrency holdings directly from victims' devices. This blend of cyber and physical tactics demonstrates a level of boldness and versatility in their criminal operations. It shows they were willing to take significant risks, both online and in the real world, to achieve their objectives. The scope of their activities painted a picture of a well-organized and determined criminal syndicate. Even more audaciously, Malone Lame allegedly continued to run parts of the operation while in detention. He was initially arrested in September 2024. However, authorities claim that his arrest did not immediately halt his involvement in the conspiracy. This detail, if proven true, speaks volumes about Lame's character and his commitment to the criminal enterprise. It suggests a high level of confidence, or perhaps recklessness, in his ability to evade ultimate justice. The other named members of this extensive crew included individuals like Marlon Farrow, Hamza Dust, Kunal Mehta, and Ethan Urali, among others. Section 5. Living Large, the Spoils of a Digital Fortune. Once the millions in cryptocurrency were allegedly in their control, Malone Lame and his associates began to live a life of extreme luxury. Their spending habits were nothing short of extravagant. Lame in particular seemed to revel in his newfound, albeit illicit, wealth. Reports indicate he would spend astounding sums between $400,000 and $500,000 in a single night at exclusive nightclubs in Los Angeles and Miami. One particularly lavish night allegedly saw his expenditure exceed $569,000. This kind of spending quickly draws attention, not just from admirers, but also from authorities. The nightclub splurges were just the tip of the iceberg. Lame reportedly indulged in a fleet of high-end luxury cars. His collection included Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and Porsches, the ultimate symbols of wealth and status. He didn't just buy fast cars, he also secured opulent accommodations. He rented 2 sprawling mansions in Miami. To top it off, he acquired an incredibly expensive watch, reportedly valued at around $1.8 million to $2 million. He also purchased a $1 million Lamborghini Revuelto. This lifestyle was funded directly by the stolen crypto, a stark contrast to the victim's significant loss. John D.L. Serrano, Lame's alleged key partner in the $230 million theft, also enjoyed the fruits of their crime. He rented a luxurious home in Encino, California, with a monthly rent of $47,500. Investigators traced a significant portion of the stolen funds to Serrano. Approximately $29 million worth of cryptocurrency was deposited into the Trade Ogre exchange, and these funds were linked back to his residence. It's reported that Serrano received between $27 million and $32 million from the 4,100 Bitcoin heist. He later agreed to transfer $20 million of these proceeds to the FBI, a significant forfeiture. To manage and legitimize their vast sums of stolen Bitcoin, the group engaged in systematic money laundering. The stolen Bitcoin was moved through multiple cryptocurrency exchange platforms. It was often converted into other digital currencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, and Monero. Monero, in particular, is known for its privacy-enhancing features, making it a popular choice for those looking to obscure financial trails. This complex laundering process was essential for them to use the money in the real world without immediately raising red flags. However, skilled blockchain investigators can often unravel even these tangled webs. Section 6. The long arm of the law, arrests and initial charges. The extravagant lifestyles and large financial transactions eventually caught the attention of investigators. The digital trail, though obscured, was not entirely erased. In September 2024, the law began to catch up with the alleged perpetrators. John D.L. Serrano was apprehended by federal agents. His arrest took place at Los Angeles International Airport, a common point of entry and exit. Following his arrest, Serrano was brought to Washington to appear in federal court, the jurisdiction where the primary victim resided and where the crime had a significant impact. Around the same time, in September 2024, Malone Lame was also arrested. His capture occurred after he had traveled from Los Angeles to Miami via a private jet, a mode of transport indicative of his lavish spending. Lame initially appeared in federal court in the Southern District of Florida. He was subsequently slated to be transferred to Washington to face charges alongside Serrano. The coordinated arrests marked a significant breakthrough for law enforcement. It signaled the beginning of the end for the group's unchecked spree of alleged criminal activity and opulent living. Following their arrests, Lame and Serrano faced serious initial charges related directly to the massive 4,100 Bitcoin theft. These charges included conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to launder monetary instruments. Each of these charges carries severe penalties, including potentially long prison sentences and substantial fines. The wire fraud charge stemmed from their use of telecommunications, phone calls, and internet services to execute their deceptive scheme across state lines. The money laundering charge related to their efforts to conceal the illicit origins of the stolen cryptocurrency, a crucial element in tracking down Lame and Serrano and linking them to the stolen funds was the work of blockchain investigators. Notably, an online blockchain investigator known by the handle ZachXBT played a significant role. ZachXBT is renowned in the crypto community for meticulously tracing stolen digital assets on public blockchains. his work often provides vital leads for law enforcement agencies. In this case, his expertise helped connect the dots between the complex web of transactions and the individuals allegedly behind the heist, demonstrating the power of transparent ledger technology in fighting crime. Section 7, Courtroom Battles, Indictments and Plea Deals. The legal troubles for Malone Lame and his associates escalated significantly in the following months. On May 15, 2025, a federal grand jury returned a sweeping RICO indictment. This indictment named Lame and 12 others, including Connor Flansburgh and Jane Serrano. The charges were extensive racketeering, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and even obstruction of justice. This RICO indictment painted a picture of a sophisticated criminal enterprise. It alleged a pattern of illegal activities designed to systematically defraud victims and enrich the group members over an extended period. Just a few days later, on May 19, 2025, Malone Lame appeared in court for the RICO charges. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Furthermore, reports indicated that Lame rejected a plea deal offered by prosecutors. This decision suggests he intends to fight the charges in court. His not guilty plea sets the stage for a potentially lengthy and complex trial. The trial for the RICO charges has been tentatively scheduled for October 2025. Lame also made a separate appearance in the United States District Court for the District of Columbia concerning the wire fraud charges related specifically to the $230 million Bitcoin theft. Meanwhile, Jane Serrano's legal path appeared to be taking a different turn. On the same day as Lame's plea, May 19, 2025, Serrano had a status conference before U.S. District Judge Colleen Collar-Cotelli. During this conference, it was revealed that plea negotiations were ongoing in his case. This suggests Serrano might be considering cooperating with authorities or accepting a plea agreement to potentially reduce his sentence. While no formal agreement has been announced, the possibility of a plea deal could have significant implications for the prosecution of other members of the group, including Lame. The potential penalties faced by Lame, Serrano, and the others are severe. For the charges of wire fraud and conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, each carries a maximum prison term of 20 years. Additionally, fines can range from $250,000 to $500,000, or even up to twice the amount gained from the crime. The RICO charges carry a similarly harsh potential sentence, with a possible minimum of 20 years in jail and substantial fines. The prospect of decades behind bars underscores the gravity of their alleged crimes and the determination of federal prosecutors to secure convictions. Section 8. Unraveling the Truth, Investigations and Lingering Questions. As investigators delved deeper into the operations of Malone Lame's crew, they uncovered various tactics used to conceal their activities and identities. The group allegedly employed straw owners and shell companies. These were used to hide their ownership of expensive assets like luxury homes and high-performance cars. This is a classic money laundering technique. It is designed to make it difficult to trace the proceeds of crime back to the actual beneficiaries. Such elaborate measures indicate a conscious effort to evade detection and protect their ill-gotten gains from forfeiture by the authorities. One of the more alarming revelations was that the RICO group allegedly received tips from off-duty law enforcement officers. These tips supposedly warned them about ongoing federal investigations into their activities. If true, this suggests a level of corruption or infiltration that could have significantly hampered the investigation. It also raises serious questions about the integrity of certain individuals within law enforcement. Such insider information could have given the group an advantage, allowing them to destroy evidence or evade capture for a longer period, adding another layer of complexity to the case. Lame himself demonstrated a clear intent to obstruct justice when he learned of his impending arrest. Upon realizing that authorities were closing in, he reportedly threw his phone into Biscayne Bay in Miami. This act was likely an attempt to destroy evidence that could be stored on the device, such as communication logs, contact lists, or cryptocurrency wallet information. The group also allegedly purchased firearms. They claimed these were for protection against rival cybercrime groups, highlighting the dangerous and competitive underbelly of the world they inhabited. These actions paint a picture of individuals desperate to avoid consequences. Despite the arrests and ongoing legal proceedings, significant questions remain. One major question revolves around the missing money. Authorities have stated that at least $100 million from the 4,100 Bitcoin theft remains unaccounted for. Tracing and recovering these funds is a priority. Furthermore, Malone Lame reportedly admitted to involvement in additional crypto thefts and fraud schemes beyond the main $230 million heist. He was also linked to another known scammer operating under the moniker Of Yi. The full extent of their criminal network and the total amount stolen may still be unfolding. Section 9. The Aftermath Lessons from a Colossal Crypto Theft. The case of Malone Lame and the $230 million crypto heist serves as a stark illustration of the evolving landscape of financial crime. The youth and technical proficiency of the alleged perpetrators are particularly noteworthy. Individuals barely into their 20s managed to orchestrate a theft of monumental proportions. They exploited complex systems and human psychology with apparent ease. This highlights a growing challenge for law enforcement, keeping pace with criminals who are digital natives, comfortable operating in the often unregulated frontiers of the internet and cryptocurrency. Their audacity was, by all accounts, remarkable. The impact of such a colossal theft extends far beyond the financial loss suffered by the individual victim. While the victim's personal devastation is undeniable, incidents like these also damage trust in the broader cryptocurrency ecosystem. They fuel skepticism and fear among potential investors. They can also attract unwanted regulatory scrutiny. For the crypto community, this case underscores the critical importance of robust security measures, constant vigilance, and user education. It's a painful reminder that even sophisticated investors can fall prey to well-crafted social engineering schemes if they are not extremely careful. In response to the crimes, authorities are working diligently to seize assets acquired with the stolen funds. The forfeiture list is extensive. It includes plans to seize 28 luxury cars and over 90 high-end luxury items. These confiscated goods range from Louis Vuitton pillows to designer shoes, all symbols of the lavish lifestyle the group allegedly funded with their criminal proceeds. While these seizures represent a form of justice and can help compensate victims, recovering the full amount, especially the $100 million still missing, remains a significant challenge for investigators. The legal process is still ongoing. Malone Lame has pleaded not guilty to the RICO charges, and his trial is anticipated in October 2025. John Diel Serrano is in plea negotiations, which could lead to further revelations. This case is far from over. It will continue to serve as a landmark example of large-scale crypto crime and the efforts to combat it. The lessons learned from this heist will undoubtedly inform security practices, investigative techniques, and perhaps even regulatory approaches to the world of digital assets for years to come. It is a complex story still unfolding,